It all started with a flashback at a beautiful beach at the time of sunset. Two brothers were running and playing on the beach near the water. The big brother was looking around while his feet was in the water and he saw a car on the road. The little brother called him, then he told him that he heard the grown-ups say that they aren't blood related, so he can't be considered his brother. Then the little brother said, "So, you aren't my older brother and I'm not your younger brother. Is it true?" The big brother shouted and asked him who said that. He then told him not to listen to the adults' nonsense. The big brother then told him that they are family and he is his older brother. Then the little brother asked him if he will be with him forever. The big brother replied, "Of course. Forever." The little brother found a very beautiful seashell. Then the big brother asked him if he wants to give it to him. He gave it to him, and while checking it, he heard someone calling his name. Xuan carelessly dropped the seashell, then he looked at the boy calling his name. This boy was Xuan's classmate. His name was Sheng. Sheng apologized to Xuan for coming late. Xuan told him that he didn't wait for too long and the sea breeze was quite comfortable. While talking, the little brother was giving Sheng an angry stare, then he held his brother's hand. Sheng then saw the little boy, then he asked Xuan if he is his little brother, and asked for his name. Xuan told him yes, and his name is Lu Lan. Sheng said hi to Lan and told him that he is his brother's classmate and told him his name is Sheng. Lan didn't say anything and still gave him the same angry stare. Xuan apologized to Sheng and told him that his little brother is slow to warm up to people he just met. Sheng told him it's fine, he understands. Sheng then sadly told Xuan that the time has been confirmed and he will be leaving tomorrow. So, he came today to say goodbye in person. Xuan was surprised that it happened that quickly. Sheng told him that he didn't expect it to happen this quickly. He thought it would take at least 3 weeks to move out of country. Xuan sadly looked down, then asked Sheng to promise him one thing. Xuan came close to Sheng, then he whispered to him what he wanted. Lan was watching them without hearing what they were saying. Sheng then told Xuan that it's settled. Back to the main time, it was a heavy rainy day. Police officers were surrounding the place. They were trying to evacuate the crowd. They didn't want them to stand around to watch. The crowd was worrying because they heard that the culprit of the Rose murder case was hiding here. At another place, the culprit was running and trying to escape the cop after him. He started going into alleys and while running he threw a trash bin in the way of the cop running after him to slow him. He then turned to another alley, but it was a dead end and there was nowhere to escape. Once the cop got to him, he shoved him to the wall. The cop was shocked that the culprit was Xuan's brother. Lan told the cop with an ironic look that he captured him now. Then he said to him, "Shouldn't you be overjoyed now?" The cop angrily asked him why did he appeared at the crime scene twice. Lan asked him if he would believe him if he told him that it was a coincidence. The cop angrily pressed him more to the wall and shouted, "Are you the murderer?" Lan didn't answer. The cop shouted again and asked him if he is the murderer for the second time. Lan then remembered what happened when he was crying and screaming while holding his brother and there was blood all over him and the place. Lan then told the cop that it was him. He was the one who killed his brother. Back in time at October 2018, everyone was hurrying to not be late for today's lecture. Lan was sitting and writing a program on his laptop. Then the professor came. He wrote "perfect crime" on the board. Then he turned to the class and told them that before he starts the lecture, he wants to ask them a question. He asked them if they believe in that there was such a thing as a perfect crime. Lan suddenly became interested of what he said and stopped writing in his laptop and started listening. Everyone was confused. They thought that today's lecture was going to be about evidence technology. A student stood up and told the professor that he doesn't think so. He told him that though there were some unsolvable classes in the past, it was because criminal investigation technology was not advanced yet. The professor told him that he has a point, then asked the rest of the students about their opinions. While everyone was giving their opinions, Lan was thinking about the crime scene of his brother and what happened that night. Suddenly, the professor called him and asked him about his opinion. Lan told him that a real perfect crime would be unknown to the world. The professor was shocked from his answer. After class, the professor came after him and asked him his name. He told him that his name is Lu Lan. Moving in time to the 16th of May 2020, the news was talking about Longwan City's Rose murder. Mr. Luo was a guest in the show and he came to analyze the case. But before interviewing Mr. Luo, They started reviewing the case. On the 14th of April, high school student Li found the body of the victim, Wei Xuan, on his way home. The victim was stabbed in the lungs and quickly bled to death. Strangely, a rose was stuck in the stab wound. After police investigation, the deceased's younger brother, Lu Lan, was largely suspected of committing the crime. Through interviews and investigations, they learned that Lu Lan and Wei Xuan had an intense argument about Lu's academics before the incident. It has already been 1 month since the incident, and the police still haven't determined the whereabouts of the criminal suspect, Lu Lan. After reviewing the case, the newswoman then asked Mr. Luo to start analyzing the case. Mr. Lu told her that before analyzing, he thinks it's necessary to discuss what the murder's motive was. He told her that they must consider what type of family the suspect and victim belonged to. The two brothers were in a blended family, so they weren't actually blood-related. However, it is likely that they were constantly compared to each other as they were growing up. At a market store, the store owner was listening to the news, then suddenly a strange man came to the store and asked him for a SIM card. The strange man scared him when he suddenly came. The store owner then gave him the SIM he wanted and told him it will be 50 yuan. Suddenly, the store owner felt something strange. He felt like he saw this strange man before. The strange man asked him if the person on the news looked familiar to him. The store owner asked him if he is talking about Professor Luo. The strange man then told him no. He meant the one they are trying to capture. The man raised his head and said, "The guy who killed his brother." The strange man was Lan, and when the store owner noticed it, he stared to Lan, then silence took over the place. Suddenly, a bang noise came from the store. Lan then went back to his place and was taking a shower to clear the blood that was all over him. While he was in the shower, we hear the Mr. Lu from the news asking if the killer's brother was his only victim. Mr. Lu then said that he thinks that the flower on the victim's body is the criminal's calling sign, and this suggests that the suspect will commit more crimes. Lan then finished his shower and went to open his locker, and there was lots of pictures that one of the pictures was Lan's brother. At another place, the professor was running screaming for help with blood covering his hands and face. Then a person came from behind him and said, "Professor, I want to ask you something." He asked him what is the cruelest type of crime. Then he came from behind him and covered his mouth and dragged him to the dark. Then the person answered the question and said, "It's giving the victim false hope. That is the cruelest thing a criminal can do." The next day, it was 7:32 a.m. The police were covering the area, and people were surrounding the place trying to see what is happening. They saw a dead body and was wondering what happened, but this wasn't a normal case. People thought that since this case caught the CRB's attention, then it might be a serial murder case. People were talking about how the victim's body was mutilated. A man came from behind and counted the cameras that was around the area. He then started pushing and going between the people to reach the crime scene. The officer saw him and tried to stop him. The senior sergeant Lao Ma heard the officer telling the man that he is not allowed her. So, he went check what's going on. The sergeant was shocked when he saw the person from far away. Lao asked the officer what is going on. Then the officer told Lao that this guy wanted to enter the crime scene, but he told him that he couldn't. Lao looked to the guy, then he told the officer that if this guy is not qualified to go in, then no one here is. Lao told him that this guy is the new leader of the countermeasures B team, and his name is Sheng. The officer was shocked from what he heard. The sergeant and Sheng then started going to the crime scene. Lao couldn't blame the officer for being shocked. He had the same expression when he first saw Sheng. Lao was introduced to Sheng during a meeting. He was told that Sheng is going to be the new soon-to-be head of the B team. Lao used to be a senior inspector in the A team and is very experienced. But now Sheng is transferred to Lao's group to assist him with his work for the Countermeasures Bureau. Lao was told that Sheng will be returning to China next week and officially taking over the B team. Lao was shocked that Sheng had 6 stars. He was able to become the chief inspector at such a young age. He might be the first person who has achieved this in the 50 years since the establishment of the CRB. Sheng asked Lao if there is a record created to this bloody handprint yet. He was shocked and started thinking, when did Sheng notice this? Lao started shouting and calling Li Lu to come to the east entrance of the stairway because there have been new clues discovered. Then he called Xiao Zhang to mark the area and protect the scene and don't let anyone touch it. Sheng then started looking to the blood traces and the shoe on the ground. Then he closed his eyes and started imagining what happened in the crime scene depending on the clues he found. He imagined the professor screaming and running to the stairs while putting his hand on the place he got first stabbed. Then he concluded that the killer was going after him and grabbed him while he was trying to reach the stairs, then he stabbed him again from the back. Then he imagined how the handprint happened and the shoe and the blood traces. Then he concluded from the blood traces that the criminal dragged his victim all this way. Sheng then realized that the killer is deriving pleasure from the victim's despair. Sergeant Lau has been told that the corpse has been investigated. So, he called Sheng to come and told him that he is going to introduce him to the others in the group after they go. The group was chatting near the victim's body while Li was investigating it. Then Lau came and introduced them to Sheng, the new team leader. Li Lu, the forensic investigator, Ma Gan, who has the same last name as Lau and they call him Little Ma, Ah Jing, and Tian Tian, the college student Ho, just joined the group this year. Sheng asked Lau, "Is everyone here?" Lau told him that there is also a girl in the car nicknamed Keyboard. She is in charge of analyzing clues from the data. Right now, she is investigating the security footage from before and after yesterday night's crime. Sheng started investigating the body. He saw abdominal wound exposing the intestines. The way the rose was stuck into the body seems to be a bit different from the previous crime, and the streak of blood was mostly dry near the body. Sheng asked Li when was the body discovered. Li told him it was discovered at 6:20 this morning by a college student on a jog. Sheng told them that they should also check the security footage from this morning, especially after the police report was filled. Lau was confused and asked why they have to do so. Sheng told him that the criminal's methods have definitely become crueler. This time he tormented the victim more. The murderer even gave the victim an opportunity to escape and hope that he could survive. Chen then said that if he was the murderer, he would have returned to the crime scene to see the expressions on their faces. The group was shocked from what he said. Lau then told Jing to go tell Keyboard, but Ting told him that she will do it. Sheng then thanked everyone for their hard work and told them that there is somewhere he needs to go. He told them to meet him at the Countermeasures Bureau building in the afternoon. Sheng took some flowers with him and went to Xuan's grave. He saw his picture, then he stood there and said, "I'm back." Back in time, Sheng then remembers when he was on a mission. He was looking at a photo of him and Xuan together while he was cleaning his weapon. Sheng's friend was trying to sneak attack him, but he noticed and told him to stop. Sheng's friend was surprised that he noticed him. Sheng asked him why is he here for. He told Sheng that taking a photo with him on a mission is against the rules. Sheng told him that if he doesn't say anything, nobody will know. Sheng's friend said sure. Then he told Sheng that his little foreign friend has been really quiet today. He asked Sheng why hasn't there been an update like usual. Sheng's friend then told him that they don't have a lot of time left, and he will go to the lobby first, so he told Sheng that he should hurry up. Sheng opened his phone and sent a message to Xuan telling him to wait for him. He told him that he will be back after the mission and there are some things that he wants to tell him on person. Sheng then left his phone and turned off the lights and left the room. An unknown caller started calling Sheng's phone. 1 month later, Sheng's team was coming back from their mission. They were happy because they were able to complete the mission thanks to Lucky Sheng's crucial shot. Everyone was happy and laughing, but suddenly the leader came running calling for Sheng. He said that he has bad news. He told Sheng that there was a phone call from mainland China. The phone call was about the death of Sheng's friend. Sheng was shocked from what he heard. If I were there, maybe none of this would have happened. That's what Sheng was thinking after he remembered his mission. He touched Xuan's grave, then he said, "I will definitely catch the murderer." While Sheng was at his Xuan's grave, there was a person watching him from far behind while holding flowers in his hand. Later that day at night, at the Countermeasures Bureau building, Keyboard was eating noodles while watching the footage of the cameras. Ting then came and told her that eating only instant noodles is unhealthy. Then she gave her some food. Ting asked her if there's anything she can help with. Ting told her that if it's just looking at the security cameras, she can definitely do it and she won't miss any details. Keyboard then pressed a key, then asked Ting why is she still here. The security footage has already been sent to our computer. That's what Keyboard told Ting. Ting replied enthusiastically that she will look at it right away. Little Ma was angry and shouted, "Just how much we need to watch." Ting then said, "You can't handle looking at it for only half an hour?" Keyboard has been watching it for 10 hours without complaining. Little Ma told her that he doesn't care, this isn't his job. Whoever likes watching it should do it. He was angry because Sheng gave them so much extra work with barely any prior notice. Jing asked Little Ma if he ate gunpowder because he has such a bad temper today. Little Ma got even angrier and said that if he had known that the new team leader would be this arrogant, he would have just driven the patrol car. Little Ma didn't like Cheng at all, but then Ting noticed something and told him to look. She got sure that the team leader might have been right all this time. She saw Lan in the footage near the crime scene. After a while, Cheng and Lao arrived. Keyboard told them that they found Lan in the footage. Cheng took a map, then asked Keyboard at what time was he filmed. Keyboard told him that he was filmed at 6:40 a.m. and the Countermeasures Bureau arrived at the scene at 6:45. Cheng asked her about the Sky Eyes number that captured him. And if you don't know, in China, Sky Eyes is a set of surveillance systems that are deployed above streets. Keyboard told him it was Sky Eye number 3. Cheng asked her if the Sky Eyes in any other locations captured him. She said no. Cheng asked where else was Lan seen besides where the body was discovered. He wanted the most recent sighting. Lao told him a day earlier, a supermarket owner reported that Lan went to his store on foot and bought a SIM card. Cheng then asked if there are any places that the Sky Eye can't reach between these two locations. Lao told him yes at the Crossroad Alley. He told him that there are a lot of twists and turns, so the Sky Eye isn't able to capture the area. Also, most of the residents there are contraband traders, refugees, prostitutes, or members of the regional mafia. Cheng asked how many entrances and exits are there in total. Lao told him 4 larger exits, 3 of which led directly to the highway. But the amount of smaller exits is uncertain, so it will be difficult for Cheng to capture anyone there. Cheng told the group that Lan really isn't an ordinary suspect. He has a certain level of medical knowledge and is aware of anti-reconnaissance. He is not only a forensic student, but he also an expert hacker like Keyboard. It is very likely that he is monitoring the reports that the CRB receives and is completely prepared. If he chooses to hide here, he will surely have an escape route planned. Cheng told them that they will start the distribution of tasks now. In an hour, they will start the hunt for Lan. At Crossroad Alley, Lan was at his place sighting on his laptop. He was listening to the cops' reportings. They were trying to find the current location of patrol cars 68 and 53. They have been told that the car number 68 is currently on Luhu Street in Dongcheng District, and the car number 53 is currently on Zhangli Street in Beicheng District. Lan found some information about the Professor Yu. The police then tell the patrol cars number 68 and 53 that their routes have been changed. They ask them to head to the south exit of Crossroad Alley in Dongcheng District within 8 minutes and wait for more instructions. Lan was still typing on his laptop, but the laptop screen shows that there is no response. Lan then goes to his locker, grabs all the pictures in it, then he burns it except his brother's picture, he kept it with him. Then he took his jacket and went out. So, what are all these pictures and what made Lan burn them all? That's what we are gonna find out in the next episode. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more.